all this area here is going to be back to Eden, mulched in. This has been a fairly decent lawn space. I've kept it good mowed, so I know it's got good soil there. So there's pretty much good to be worked with, not to mention all the organic material that falls from this tree every year that I don't do anything with. I've got a little apple tree in the corner there. It's a mutt. It makes little tiny apples. I'm assuming it was a seedling that came off of this tree years ago. These were all squash and cucumber beds last summer. My little outhouse shed I built for garden tools a couple years back. Out of cedar. Looks good. Like the weathering on it. Back side of my greenhouse. Couple garden beds there. You can't see them because they're buried in snow for tomatoes. This space here, I am pondering extending out the back of the greenhouse there. Partial for some little bit more covered beds, and a little bit maybe putting in some kind of heating system there so I could have a partially heated greenhouse over the winter. This is the other side of my yard, backyard. This is the dog's yard. I don't do much with it in the past, but this is our big project this year. Most of this area back here is going to be back to Eden. Cover up all that grass back there that hasn't done very good in the years. The weeds have done better. You can see I've got 3 more giant pine trees in the corner. And this is the crowning tree of our yard, and it is a willow tree. Kind of go slow to show you this so you can see the size of this thing. Kind of hard to get a idea of the scale on video, but that tree is huge. There's the top of our house, and as you can see, the tree is easily another house and a half or 2 houses taller than the house. If I had to use my calibrated eye, I would say 100 feet. Gonna fill, that's the other side of the greenhouse. All that's gonna be mulched in. My hillbilly garden shed, like I said, is gonna be gone. This rack here, which was given to me, I'm gonna take it and put it in the garage, get more use out of it. I have this little fenced in kennel area here. It's never been a kennel. About 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I put my beehives inside there initially. Not to fence the bees in, but to have a covered area so I didn't necessarily freak the neighbors out, because, you know, a bee that a neighbor sees is a dangerous bee, but a bee that a neighbor doesn't see will never bother them. That's been kind of my experience. But before I moved them out here anyway. That is going to be my chicken run, so I'm not going to move it. I'm just going to have my chicken coop on this side built up right against it, and I'll be able to run through there. I also have plans to make a chicken tractor. If you guys don't know what that is, just do a Google search. Basically, it's a mobile cage that you throw out on your lawn or garden beds or wherever you want, and the chickens go through there and scratch it up and peck it up and add fertilizer and manure and get your bugs out, and that's why they call it a chicken tractor. Over here I'm on the side of the yard. All this is going to be mulched in deeper. I do have mulch down right now. I'm going to mulch it in deeper. All my box garden I'm going to leave, but they are going to be deeply mulched in. I've put all that work in the past, so I'm not going to go through the trouble of ripping it out. That's part of the Back to Eden thing, is you do less work. So, you know, I am going to be doing a lot of work, wheeling mulching and stuff with my wheelbarrow, but I'd rather bring stuff in and drop it than haul stuff out. This is the back side of the caged in area there. Pretty decent sized space, probably about 7 by 12 feet, I believe. Like I said, this is my tomato powerhouse here. And what I don't see a lot of gardeners on the internet talking about, or even thinking about when they're planting a garden, is how the sun comes through during the day and hits the property, and that's real important. I mean, I do have 2 sides here that are one fence and one wall, but the sun does an arch through here, and it arches, you know, straight over this area like that. So I have sun all day long in this area. Your primary producing plants like your peppers and your zucchini and your tomatoes, they love sun. You can give it to them all day. And when selecting sites, you know, go out and watch the sun. Get online and study up about sun arches and how they change over the season, and kind of just see where your sun is going to be moving throughout the day and throughout the season, give you the best growing spots possible. As you can see, I've had mulch down here in the past as all my walkways, and there is some weed barrier under that, which, you know, with the Back to Eden system is not going to be ideal, but it hasn't been the best. You know, it's not the greenhouse quality stuff, so it'll tear right up when I need to get in there and plant stuff. So any place that I'm going to think that I'm going to plant, I'll go in and just get my knife out, and you know, this stuff's been here for 3-4 years now. Cut holes in it and tear it out. This is the ground underneath. It's not beautiful, but it is nice and moist, and I'm sure with this Back to Eden system it'll be good growing ground here, so I can plant wherever I want. I don't just have to be limited to the boxes. Got some onions right there. I'm getting on 30 minutes here, and I don't remember what the YouTube requirements are. I know that I'm going to have to cut this thing in half or something, label it Back to Eden Part 1, Back to Eden Part 2, etc., etc. But while I'm filming, I want to go back over this way real quick. This right here, my friends, is a wheelbarrow. If you haven't done any garden, you might not even know what one's used for. This is the gardener's second most important tool. Right, secondly only to the sweat off their brow. And they work hand in hand. But it will save you a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it'll save you a lot of work. This is my old wheelbarrow. I've put this thing to use for about 5 years now. Back when I bought it, it was the cheapest wheelbarrow you could buy. I've got a second year after that, I went and bought a flat free tire for it, which is, if anybody that's ever had a dolly or a wheelbarrow with air tires knows that they're never flat except for when you need to use them. And this one's had a broken handle repaired by my father-in-law when they were using it. Like this wheelbarrow, not going to get rid of it, but I did replace it. Because I think it's one of the investments that any gardener that plans on growing things and moving things and hauling things will need for many years. So it's kind of my philosophy as far as garden tools go, that, you know, I know that if you can't afford it and need it, you go and get what you can afford. But if you can save up for a little while, then go and get the good stuff. Because, you know, it's better that you spend, depending on what you buy, from shears to shovels to wheelbarrows, $20, $30, $40, $100. You know, it's better than paying that once than paying $3, $5, $10, 10 or 15 times to, you know, get the same job done but continue to have to replace it. So this is stuff I have for some of the work I'm going to do today. Peat moss, perlite, parts to my wheelbarrow, my new wheelbarrow. That one comes with a flat free tire. It's a lot heavier duty. The handles are solid. Big old thick hardwood things there. Got some organic fertilizer there, some vermiculite, and some compost. And in a little bit I'll make another video and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do with that. But for now I'm going to get on to this first project, which is putting this wheelbarrow together, grabbing a snow shovel, a couple other shovels, clearing this area out. That's my first task for today. This is Rodney, and I'll catch you later.